What's up, guys? In today's video, I'm going to be telling you guys exactly what an entire college football game day is like. Real quick, what I'm going to be covering is the entire routine, start to finish, pre-game, game, post-game, what happens, what you have to be prepared for, and then I'm going to break down the different game day experiences in terms of if you're a walk-on, if you're a starter, is there any differences. So stay tuned. Make sure you guys are smashing that like button and hitting that subscribe button for me. It helps the channel a ton. We're starting to grow a little bit, so I want to keep that going. Let's jump right in. All right. You guys got that? Besides getting your jersey to somehow get over top of your body with all of your pads on, we can begin speaking about the rest of the routine. But this is probably the most important part because it's extremely difficult to get these things on and off after a game. So I'm going to be talking predominantly from the perspective of a home football game. That'll include the full 105-man roster. Generally, everybody's going to be dressed that's on a 105-man roster. So we'll just kind of go from those parameters and start from there. So this is really exciting because this is game day. I mean, it's the day that you've been pretty much waiting for all year. It's the day that you kind of dream about as a walk-on, as a player, as a fan. It's really the day that you get to put all your skills to the test and finally go out and compete and do what you've been practicing to do for the entire year. So everybody's super focused, super locked in, and the mentality going into this is basically we're fully prepared. We've been doing this for an entire year now, and we're ready to go out and excited to test the skills. So there's a ton of hype, a ton of just people feeling pumped up and ready to go. And one of the most interesting things about college football is that you get such a limited number of opportunities to go out and actually compete that when these times do come around, I mean, you're itching for it. You're rooting for your team heavy because, you've been putting in the reps all year long for these moments to see what you guys are truly made of. So, once this time comes around, it's extremely important to be locked in, and everyone sort of just has that same mentality. Sorry, I had to take this off, but got to represent the Raterman family right here. If you're part of the 105 on the roster, all of those people dress and are on the sideline for game day. So if you're part of the 105, you're padded up, you're dressed, and you're part of the team, you're ready to go for a home game, and that's really just the end of the conversation. If you are like a starter or somebody who is crucial to the game, usually those people show up actually maybe 20 to 30 minutes after the rest of the people show up. So if you were a walk-on or anything like that, and this is just how it works at Ohio State, so I can only speak from my experience, but at Ohio State, if you're a walk-on or you probably weren't going to see the field that day, you would show up to the stadium maybe an hour or half hour before everybody, just kind of help get things set up and make sure you weren't in the way of things as things started to get more hectic. So you could get there and get taped and get everything ready before all of these other people came. So it's really more of just a thing to get you there, get you through the process to make sure that not everyone's all jumbled up. That's just how Ohio State did it. Maybe other schools do it differently. To kick things off, you show up for pregame. There's a very strict schedule that they follow. It's really just a checklist of things you got to do before the game begins to make sure that you're fully ready, fully warmed up, and ultimately ready to perform at your best. So a couple of those things would be when you first show up, the equipment managers are going to have your locker all ready. You got your pads, your jerseys, all the different gear that you're going to need. There's an equipment area where you can go kind of pick up any last minute things. You need like fresh gloves, maybe socks, maybe it's, different pads, things to make sure everything fits right. And one of the first things you do is you get your pads ready. So that means putting the jersey over top of the pads, just the little things that go into the process of, getting ready for a game, obviously. So once you get your ankles taped and all that's done, you start putting your pads on, you get on your warm-up gear, which is just really, it's an outfit like a jacket or a hoodie, and then, your cleats, and then your maybe just gloves and a pair of, workout pants. And that's what you're going to do your initial warm-up in. So then they break people up into position groups. Yeah, as a safety, I would go out with the safeties, which means you'd head down and you'd start doing your warm-ups, which are your position drill warm-ups. These are things that you need to do, to get your legs moving, little sprints, some general agility stuff, maybe some hand-eye stuff, catch some passes. Then once your position-specific drills are done, you head back into the locker room, and then you start getting the rest of your pads on. And all the position groups are actually rotating. They're going out there and doing their warm-ups at this time. And then you come back inside, and then you all go out as a full team to do the last warm-up. So once you go out and you do the last final warm-up, which consists of your everyday practice stuff like your dynamic stretches, it consists of, going over the actual plays, quick little hitting. You do your quick cals at Ohio State, which is something to kind of get your mind right, make sure you're locked in and ready to go. Once all that's done, you break it down and you head back inside. And at this point, it's about, maybe 30, 20 minutes before the game. And so everybody's fully warmed up. Everyone's ready to go. You head back in and really you kind of sit there and chill and get your mind right and talk to your coaches, go over any last minute game plan tweaks. This is the moment where you start kind of getting the butterflies a little bit. The pressure is definitely there, but you've prepared for it all year round. If you're a walk-on, maybe you're not playing, and you probably know you're probably not going to play, but you're super excited. You got to this point, you made it this far, and the day is finally here where you get to go out and experience what you've been working so hard for. Whether you're a starter or you're a walk-on or anywhere across the 105, you've made it this far, and you deserve to enjoy this moment and go. If you get the chance to play your hardest, and if not, support any way you possibly can. The coolest moment of all time comes next, and that's your first time running out of the locker room, running through the tunnel, and ultimately onto the field in front of potentially, 110,000 people, 120,000 people. Who knows how many people watching around the nation. And my first time doing this was crazy. I remember in my head visualizing this so many times, seeing myself running out of the tunnel at Ohio State in front of all these people, and just feeling like I was a part of that team and that brotherhood. And that vision that I had in my head was something that I had way before I even decided I was going to walk on. It was just something that I knew that I wanted to do. And honestly, the first time that I did it, it was super weird because I'd seen it so many times in my mind that when I finally went out and ran it, it was like I already knew how it felt. But it was so cool to actually finally be in the moment feeling that. So it's hard to explain, but when you do run out of the tunnel, it's crazy. I mean, you got to imagine at Ohio State, there's fireworks going off. The marching band is playing, the best damn band in the land. And you have all your brothers by your side. You've been working for an entire year for these moments, and you run out there in front of 100,000 of the best fans in the world. And it's just a super cool, surreal experience. And you get a big taste of that during the spring game. And I personally actually had a little bit of experience with this before I even joined the football team, because I was doing Ohio State's fastest student races. I ran on the field, like I did a 40-yard dash race the year before I actually played football in front of 100,000 people during the spring football game at Ohio State. So I actually kind of had like a little bit of a taste in my mouth for what it would be like to be in the center of that field in front of all those people. But still, even after I did the real spring game and played in, got downs in the spring game, when I walked onto the football team, nothing compares to the actual first game that you run out of that tunnel. And nothing compares even close to a night game when you run out of the tunnel. That's by far the craziest. Our Penn State night game, which right here, that's what this gray jersey right here is from. Go Bucks. We won that game in probably the craziest way of all time. I'm going to post some of that stuff here just because that game was insane. But running out of the tunnel on that specific day, man, I tell you, that makes everything that you do throughout the year and throughout the season working to that point totally worth it. The game starts, kickoff goes. During the game, if you are playing, you're 100% locked in, you're ready to go. And it's just like any other football game, guys. It's not like, because you're at a college level or you're at a D1 program, it's any different. It's really, at the end of the day, you're, between those lines, it's a football game, and you're gonna, do everything you can to win that football game. There's a few minor things that I would say are a little bit more strict in terms of, standing on the sidelines, being in certain spots. If you can help the team in any way, that's what you're there to do. So there were times where I would be watching certain signalers across the sideline, messaging up to my coaches, trying to figure out what the calls were, what was going on, how we could help the defense, and how we can make adjustments. So really, every single person on that sideline has, a job and has, some reason to be there. And it doesn't have to be something like looking for plays. It could be seriously sitting there and amping up the crowd. Like, we had all of us walk-ons, we had a bunch of boys that would grab the towels, and even the strength coaches would make you grab towels and just go crazy on the side. So if their offense was out there and we're going crazy, we get the whole crowd going, it's going to be a lot harder to, think through that moment and, really capitalize. That's pretty much it for during the game. I know during halftime, all you do is you run in the locker room, you make adjustments as quickly as you can, you talk to all your coaches, you get motivated again, change anything that needs changed, get back out there, warm up, and start the game again. So ultimately, that whole entire process is pretty similar to what you probably are used to or used to seeing, whether that's watching it on TV or in high school. So from there, the only place we can talk about now is Postgame, which is one of the coolest things ever if you win. Obviously, different schools have different traditions. Ohio State's, we all sing Carmen, Ohio. Everyone goes inside. Everyone's pumped up. We have a couple, other rituals we do in the locker room. Some of the wins, when you beat a team like a Penn State in a really close, high-pressure game, it's a night game. Everything you worked for all year is on the line. You're down by, I don't even know. We were down by like 14 or 21 multiple times throughout the game. And then you come back and you pull off a crazy victory. There's nothing crazier than that feeling. And if you guys haven't, go YouTube the Ohio State-Penn State 2017 game. It's one of the craziest things of all time. And I will give you guys a little insight into what a post-game locker room looks like from a win like that. How loud it is in the locker room because my microphone wouldn't even pick up on it on my phone. It was so loud that my mic just drowned out the music in the background. All you could hear were people yelling. So honestly, I don't have much else to say. That was post game. Hopefully that gives you guys a little bit of an insight into what it looks like. Post game, if you have a big victory, obviously, I'm going to tell you guys it's the most worth it feeling in the world to win something like that and to be a part of something like that, after working so hard and so long throughout the season. So I hope that gives you guys a better insight into what it looks like on a college football game day. All right, guys, that is the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you guys got to learn a little bit more about what a college football game day looks like, especially at a top tier school. And if you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments below. I've been engaging with a lot of you guys. You guys are an awesome community. So thank you guys for watching and supporting the channel. Please make sure you guys hit the like button, continue to support the channel so we can grow, help more people, and also make sure you subscribe and stay tuned for more videos and let me know what you want to see. I've been getting a lot of DMs and comments and different things like that. Same with my friend Nick. So we're here to help you guys. Ask us questions. Let us know what you guys want to see. And we will see you in the next video. Peace. Is this right? Damn. Yeah, that's why I was a walk-on. I figure this would be a great time to get the thumbnail. Maybe I'm like something like this.